All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Gooner Eagle Eye coming to you again with a preview of the Man City Arsenal versus Man City game. Um, as per usual, I can't do this type of thing on my own, and I brought someone else to join me and talk and bitch about the game, but also about this Arsenal situation because the international break I thought would calm me down. It really hasn't because every single day I see a new quote, something else coming out. So I had to bring Sam on with me. So Sam, say hello to the people.
Hello, good evening, everybody. How's everyone doing? Right?
So yeah, I think what we'll probably do is just really just go to just dive into it. Let's just address the elephant in the room. Arsene Wenger. We both feel very much the same way about Arsene Wenger, and the fact that he should be out. I was very, very hopeful, pretty much around about this time a few weeks ago when I was speaking to Lee Gunner, that maybe the board are being sensible and they're just trying to quietly push Wenger out. And all the indications look like that this man has decided he's about to stay on and sign on. What is your thoughts about this?
Well, yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I think it's an absolutely dreadful decision. It's having a detrimental effect that he's not coming out, whether he is or he isn't. Players seem to be half-hearted. There's just so many rumours circulating day to day. He signed a 1-year deal. He's doing this. It's just not good for the club in general. To be honest, we look like unorganised, unprofessional, which is probably the worst thing to look as a football club, in my opinion. We're not being managed correctly by anyone. No one's coming out and giving us a statement apart from that half-hearted crap that Peter Hillwood or whatever the chairman come out with said. It wasn't what we wanted to hear. We want to know whether he's staying or he's going. Look, I put it out on Twitter a few weeks ago. If he stays, I'm not going to get behind him, but as a football club and as a fan base, we've just got to move on, because if he does sign another 2-year deal, clearly he's not going anywhere for 2 years. So we can't keep having a massive effect, because it is having an effect on the players. They do hear it. Whether, Wobie come out in the week, didn't he, or a few days ago and said, oh, yeah, well, we don't really listen to it and all this. It is having a massive effect on them. There's no two ways about it. It's getting louder and louder. And I don't want him to stay. But if he does, I can see people getting... I think it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And I don't know where to go with it. I really don't. I think we're in a terrible situation. And hopefully this will never happen to us ever again. But we've got a real problem, I think, coming to a head very soon.
I think the thing that kind of pains me, and even Robbie actually said it on Arsenal Fan TV this week, is that it seems like to me every single week you're getting a new quote from a player about how much they don't want him to leave. And you think to yourself, if that's the case, why are you not playing for him? Right? Why? I mean, as much as I blame Wenger for a lot of things that have gone wrong, I do agree with what Robbie says in the sense that I think the players have almost gone under the radar now, because I don't think enough blame is being placed on them. That collectively they've all just given up, and to me I find it, as an Arsenal fan, I just find it really heartbreaking that you're playing for or you want them to play for the badge, and instead they've just collectively given up as a group. They've just decided that, you know what, forget this. This season's done. Oh, I'm going to put myself. None of them even want to put themselves in a shop window. If you are that committed to leave, fine. At least try and put yourself in a shop window. I'll even take that at this point. I don't know what you think about it.
I don't know. It's a bizarre situation. It's almost as if he's drilled it into them that they are that good, and when they lose, they just can't. Or when they go behind, or when things aren't going their way, or when they don't play well, they just don't have an answer for it. I think it all boils down to tactics and how he sets up. And I get the impression, as he's always been just go out there and be free, do whatever you want, Go and play your game. Go and play the way I know you can play. And in one sense, it is a good sort of way to trust them. But he's put way too much trust in a lot of those players. There was did you see the Sky Sports thing where the 18 or how many 2018 all the players that are going to be released?
Yeah,
I look at that list and I think
maybe two you'd keep.
Two, but
Yeah.
seriously, like maybe two players, maybe a push three. I mean, today, I'll be honest with you, I hate international football. It's not my cup of tea. I enjoy the finals, the Europeans, the World Cups, and all that. It's all right, but it's not my cup of tea. I don't enjoy it. And I watched 45 minutes today, and they were dreadful.
Yeah.
Ox was throwing about, and I just thought, you know, would we miss him? Would we really miss him? Can we replace? I look at that list basically, and I see one or two players who we couldn't replace. The rest, an absolute waste of time. We've
Who would
won.
you keep from that list?
I'd keep Sanchez.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe at a push Ozil. Maybe at a push Ox. That's it. All the rest, nah. I think they've had their time. I think they've been given plenty of opportunities. I just feel like we can replace them with better players who want to play and who will maybe maybe just something different. I think that's what we need. I think we need something different.
So I mean, from that list, Lee Gunner, how I saw the list in the first place, shout out to him if he's watching. He put up the list and he said that he'd only keep two, and that was Ox and Sanchez, who were the two I agreed with. But he was getting a lot of flack from people saying, "What are you talking about? So you wouldn't keep Santi? You wouldn't keep Jack?" No. What is your opinions on those two?
I think, well, first of all, let's go with the little Cazorla for a start. He's had two major injuries on the same Achilles or calf or whatever he's out for now. He's missed half a season last season. He's missed practically all of this season. How old is he? 32? 33? Mm-hmm. You can't tell me we can't find another player of his type. I could think of Isco. I could think of that. That guy in what's his name? Is it something like that? I don't know his name. He played for Inter Milan. He's quite technical, small, good on the ball, good passer. You know, I think we've not used Xhaka to a certain extent. I mean, I think he with a decent player next to him would be so much better. You know, Wenger's saying he's a box-to-box midfielder. The geezer can't run properly. That's the only thing where I feel he lets himself down, Xhaka. He just can't get about the pitch quick enough. If he had like Kante next to him and Kante would be probably the best midfield partnership in the league by a long stretch. But why we didn't go out and buy both of them, you know, we never seem to go out and make like a statement like we're going to, you know, rip out the midfield or we're going to buy two amazing centres and a wicked goalkeeper and two midfield. We never do it. We just like add a little bit here and a little bit there. It's it's not what we want. But and as well, Jack, you know, he's done all right at Bournemouth, but you know, would another above average or, you know, in everyone's opinion, a really good player do more than what he's done there? Probably. I think injuries have really, 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 really set him back. It might be another year, 2 years before he even gets back to the level. You know, you play at that top level, it's so difficult to get up to the next to get up to that next level. And if you have a couple of injuries and setbacks and you don't play as well as you should, and you know you have half a season here and you're suspended and blah blah blah, it's so difficult to play at that level. And I just don't think he's good. I don't think he'll make it with us now, if I'm being honest. I'd love him to. He was one of my favourite players when he first come out 5-6 years ago. When he was 16, I used to watch him in the reserves on Arsenal TV, and he was the best player on the pitch by an absolute country mile. I remember him score. I remember Wenger sitting in the stands and him scoring. He scored like just a decent shot from the edge of the box, and then the other one, he skinned about 3 players, took past the defender and curled it into the top right corner, and I was like, whoa, these geezers are like 20, 21, 22, and you're 16 and doing that. You are going to be a player. But he just hasn't progressed enough. And again, going back to that list, we've got those players. What have they won us? They're all really, to be honest, major squad players and starters throughout the period of time that we've had them. And what have we won? We've won 2 FA Cups. We've got no further in the Champions League. We've got no further in the league since we've had them. So, they're just, what's the point? We're not progressing. We have gone backwards massively over the past 2 seasons. Whether we finish second, whatever, and we're an FA Cup, but I think everyone else's level have gone up with managers and the way they're doing things and the players and the tactics. We've just stood still. We just thought we'd be able to get away with it again, but you can't.
I agree with you. One of my biggest gripes of this summer was hearing a story about the Kante deal, and the reason that Wenger didn't buy Kante as well was because he didn't want to stunt Coquelin's growth. And I remember having this discussion with one of my friends. In fact, I actually did the review. Go and check it out if you're listening. I actually did a review of that the whole summer. No, sorry, tell a lie. I did a kind of a review of the summer transfer window, which is in my archives. Go and watch it if you haven't seen it. And I remember saying, do you know what will probably have won us that league is if Wenger had said, you know what, I'm making a statement. Forget sentiment. Forget all of this. Oh, we're waiting for someone to develop into a player. Let's make a big statement by taking the champion's best player and saying we're having him because he clearly helped them win the title, and we're having him as well. That, to me, would have made me think to myself, oh, okay. And to be honest, if he had done that, I would have said, okay, Wenger is being ruthless. Let me give him a chance. Let me see if this works. But as per usual with Wenger, there's always half jobs, halfway there. Not quite enough to do to get us to champions. And yeah, they're trying to appease fans at the moment. That's why all these sudden stories about us going on this massive spending sprees. That spending spree should have happened about 5-6 years ago. Not now that all the fans, or practically all the fans, want Wenger out. All of a sudden, the board are getting a bit worried and they feel like, well, let's just spend. If you're going to stay, then you need to spend. That should have happened 5 years ago. And why should an outgoing manager have an opportunity to rebuild a team? That, to me, the mentality of that doesn't make any sense. Surely you would give money to a new incoming manager. And it's to me, it's just further reason why I wouldn't want us to give Wenger a new contract. It's just because, for me, I don't even know if they will get rid of him in 2 years' time. What's to say they will get rid of him in 2 years' time?
Well, God, listen, I can't even, for the life of me, want to even consider him staying for another 2 years at the moment. Like you said earlier, there's so many indications and arrows that pointing to him staying. But I genuinely think the protesting, that they've took notice, the board and everyone else. I'm hearing rumours that Gazidis wants him gone, and that's why he's not coming out and saying anything. Then I'm hearing they're rowing on the at the board level that Dick Law, the guy who does all the contracts and the lawyer or whatever he is, he's going, or then there's the rumours that Borrow, whatever his name is, his assistant, that he took with Grandpa Sate to wherever he's gone, and he's going at the end of the year. It's unstable. It's not, there's like the list. I've just pulled the list up actually on Twitter. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 11 odd players that are all out 2018. You either get a new manager in, and then he can make the decision. Yes, you're staying. Yes, you're going. No, yes, whatever he wants to do. We can't let Wenger stay and lose his players, because we're just in a vicious cycle of nothing ever changing. Me and you will be sat here this time next year saying, Fucking hell, what we doing with blah, blah, blah. I've got a good mate of mine who when I can, go to the Arsenal with, and me and him have been Wenger out for, very quietly, probably about 2008, 2009. And it's got louder and louder and louder. I mean, I'll never forget when we won the league. We were, I can't remember, when was the last time we won the league? Was it 13 years ago? I think it was. That season, I was like, oh my God, we're going to go out. We're going to spend a bit of money now. We're going to get further ahead of everyone else. And what did he do? He went out and sold, did he sell on, I don't know, he sold Henry or whoever he sold, two of the decent players, and that was it. And we brought in loads of young players and we brought people through. And we just, at that point, that's when I started to think, what is he doing? We broke up that Invincibles team in the best part of, it was basically a new team, wasn't it? We should have dominated for 5, 6 years with that team. We should have won more. He should have won the Champions League more. He's underachieved. Look at it. He's massively underachieved, mate, in the time. And I know we've moved to a new stadium, and it's probably the best stadium in the country. And we generate loads of money, and we business. From a business sense, it's been fantastic. From a football side of things, it's been shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we all, even I did, when I started to I'm wavering about you, I'm not sure. I always thought, I tell you what, we've moved now. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. He did a fantastic job keeping us in that top 4. We've been so patient.
Yes.
We've been all patient to really compete. We've been, year after year, it's going to come. Don't worry, too far. They all said, didn't they? As soon as 2014 comes, we will be seriously competing with Bayern Munich, all that shit. That was when all that crap come out in 2012, 11. So he bought himself time then. Excuse anymore for anything that they say or do. They've got nothing left. The money, we can't compete. Well, Leicester won the league.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't compete, and we're moving to a new stadium. All the excuses are gone. The only 2 things that anyone can ever say now is, he's finished above Tottenham for 20 years, and we're finishing the top 4. Those 2 things will evaporate this year.
Exactly.
So why keep him? He was a very, very good manager at the start, but now he is outdated, and he's been very, very average. He has been. It's a fact. He's got away with it for years.
I agree with literally everything you've just said. The only thing that I would say is, I'll be honest. For me, I've only been Wenger out for about 18 months. I remember my mate, when we first won the FA Cup, my mate was the first one to say to me, "You know what? You should go now." Like when we won that very first FA Cup after 10 years,
and he signed a new deal, didn't he, in the summer of that year? Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree. He should have been at that point.
And I was like, no. You know what? Maybe if he's given some money finally, he can go out and get somebody. You know where he lost me? That same summer.
Yeah.
Where he decided that the only thing, a team who finished 4th, the only thing we needed was Petr Cech.
Yeah.
And then at that point, I thought, okay, I'm done. I'm done. Because I thought to myself, how you're telling me you couldn't find anybody that could have improved this team? All this stupid excuse of, I'll only bring someone that is of higher quality is bullshit. And I always thought that, and I thought to myself, now you've lost me. So I know plenty of AKBs that like to say, certain people have agendas, this, that, and the other. Listen, I was maximum patient. Yeah. Maximum. I was always of the belief that, you know what, I don't really like the idea of us hounding out this man, that, it's all about respect and this, that, and the other. But he lost me with that decision. And then he's been losing me constantly with just his behavior over what he's displayed in the past year. And I even said it to someone yesterday that I don't understand how someone who prides themselves on being so psychologically astute can't see the importance of clarifying his position for the fans, for the players, for the entire club. Seeing how important. Don't get me wrong, I want the man out. But if I know today for sure that his intention is to stay, I could get angry, I can bitch, I can moan, and then I can try and deal with it. It's all this stupid uncertainty that I don't understand why he insists that we need to go through. It's almost like he's trolling people, the fans, which is what's pissing people off. I know that's what's pissing me off. I don't know what you think about it.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's a power play. It's a I'm doing what I want. No one tells me what to do. You know, it's a pure power thing, and he loves it. He loves knowing that no one will say nothing to him. You know, the board said many a times, haven't they? Well, we don't tell Arsene what to do. He tells us, and we just do it. It's just a complete and utter power thing. And I totally agree with you. We need to know. It's not fair. It's not fair on the fans, the players. He cannot make this decision. He cannot make this decision. You know, the years have gone on, and it's been more Wenger out, more people Wenger out, more Wenger. I think it's a much higher percentage. Maybe not for people who go to the game, but you know, you got all these people that go. I mean, I'd love to go every week, but you know, I've got commitments and everything else. I can't get there, etc., etc. I'd love to go every week, but I realise Arsenal are not a shitty little London club with just people who support Arsenal living in London and the surrounding counties anymore. Arsenal are one of the biggest football clubs in the world, and that is a fact. That is a fact. They have got millions and millions and millions of fans all over the world. And yes, a large percentage of them will think Wenger's great, and you know, but the sane ones, they all know he's got to go. And the worst thing is, we all sort of agree now that you can't. His excuses have run out, and this has run out. You know, we all can't be wrong. We all can't be wrong. You know?
What do you think the percentage is now of people who want Wenger to go to stay? Because I know some AKBs that even they say, you know what, maybe he should go for him.
Yeah, I think I would say at least 60-65%, if not more. I think it's about 60% ish, 65. I think now it's just getting to this, like it's getting to this stage. It's just laughable. Gonna keep his job, like everyone, all the you know, we're just, you know, average football fans from the streets, but the ex-professionals, apart from the players who used to play for him and would never say a bad word against him ever, none of them ever have. They all think he's got to go. Why is that? Ask, you know, if you are an AKB, ask yourself, why does everyone want him to go? And I know it's a big joke, other fans, we want you to stay, because as soon as he goes and we get a decent manager through the door and we get new ideas, freshening everything up, we're going to become a real force. And the Gary Nevilles and all those idiots, you know, he's got to stay, you know, all the Man United boys and the Liverpool, Chelsea, we're going to be a problem because we're going to be a serious team. Can you imagine, like, Conte, the Chelsea manager, is it Conte? Imagine him with us. And I've never wanted it to ever happen, but imagine Mourinho. Our team. We would get like Ozil under Mourinho. Puts effort in, because yes, he's a different type of person. Yes, he's an arsehole, but he gets results. He wins trophies. And that's what it's all about.
Plus, it's this idea that Arsenal is some sort of day centre that I can't stand.
Yeah.
This kind of, oh, you know what? Like, I saw a quote the other day about how Ozil is comfortable at Arsenal. Yeah, I bet he is. He plays like he is. He plays like he's very comfortable, too comfortable. And I just want someone to get into Ozil sometimes and just say, you know what, mate, why don't you go out there and actually produce a good performance, produce a big time performance for us, because we need you. We spent 42 million on you. We need you. And Wenger's not capable of that. And apparently neither is Steve Bold, who I know a lot of people are disappointed with suddenly.
Yeah, I mean, on Ozil, look, there's no doubt he's a fantastic player, but is he? Yes, you can have a go at him. Yes, you could shout and moan at him. Yes, you can scream at him and tell him he's shit and you've got to do something about it. But is he the type of player that you're going to need to go to Middlesbrough away, Stoke, Palace away, all the places we struggle with? He does work hard, but he doesn't. He's a luxury player at the moment. He's a luxury player that a Madrid, a Barcelona, one of those, a Bayern Munich, he could get away with it because he's probably got 7 world-class players behind him who make a massive difference. At Arsenal, 1, and even he's looking like he's had the arse and wants to go, and he's gone well off the boil. Sanchez has. I think, look, no one's bigger than the club, and we'll get over it. But these players are hard to find. We haven't replaced Vieira, we haven't replaced Henry, we haven't replaced Campbell, we haven't replaced Seaman. We haven't, that they are. We will get better players. We will get players in the door. But those real talent, leaders, winners, they are very hard to come across, and they go to other teams because I also feel there's a bit of a around the football game for the younger generation now. Would you want to go and play for Arsenal? 10 years ago, it was a very attractive possibility. Leagues, we had everyone around the world knew who our players were. We had some big names, brilliant players. Everyone looked up to them. Who've we got now? Apart from Sanchez and to a certain extent Ozil, who have we got to be like? And we haven't got, would you want to play for Wenger knowing he's a loser and you're not going to win nothing? You're going to finish in the top 4, and players' mentality's changed. It's all about winning. It's all about winning for these players because they're rewarded financially. None of them will ever have to work ever again after they retire. Even now, like the younger players, who even like an average player in the Premier League, never have to work ever again. They want to win things. The best players want to win. To drag these players to Arsenal. Yes, we are a big club, but if we had a big manager and all these fantastic players again, and I tell you something that really, really grips my shit massively. There's no Vieira, there's no Campbell, there's no Adams, there's no Lundberg now because he's pissed off. All these ex-professionals that were legends at our club, they're nowhere in and about around the club. They're not doing nothing. They should be teaching, learn. Why aren't they there? Every other club does it. Lampard, Gerrard, they're both whatever they're doing with Chelsea and Liverpool, respectively. Why don't we do that? Gerrard's got no coaching experience, but he's fucking director of the academy or whatever he is. Because these young kids, they want to see legends at their football club, and they are like. Can you imagine to the local Scouse lads? Oh, yeah, I can speak to Gerrard on a 1-to-1 and see what he thinks. He's won everything, mate. Apart from the Premier League, but you can't have everything.
Let me put it in perspective for you. Let me put it this way: Pep. Per Mertesacker is the biggest character we have in that dressing room. Let that sink in for a second. All the names you just mentioned, Per Mertesacker is the person that everyone seems to mention as a big character.
Yeah.
That's how fucked we are. That is how fucked we are.
I would imagine, I get the impression he's a bit quirky. Everyone can talk to him. He's a bit of I'd call him a bit of a crazy German. Everyone seems to be laughing and he's always doing jokes. All that, the jovial side of team building and bonding. And I think everyone likes him, and I get that. No problem with that. But it's not like we're a club struggling financially, or we haven't got millions. I mean, for God's sake, that list that we were referring to earlier, we could get rid of 3 of them players. The wage bill on Sonogo, Campbell, just pick, I don't know, who's Kieran Gibbs. That must be over 100. That must be 110 grand a week, 100 grand a week between them 3.
Oh, at least.
Here you go, Patrick Vieira. Just come back. You don't really have to do anything. Just make sure you're training every day. 100 grand a week. You just be around the club, give people advice. Of course, these players are going to do it, mate. Vieira. He spent 9 years of his career at Arsenal. You can't tell me he don't love this club.
Yeah.
I know he pissed off, and I know he left us, and he didn't leave on, in my opinion, the best of terms. And I think he fell out with Wenger because he wanted to go to Madrid, and he said no, and then he sold him the year after to Juventus or whatever. But you can't tell me he don't want to be part of this club. I wouldn't have it. He was a captain. He loved it, mate. Henry loved it. Lundberg. Campbell. I know Campbell's a bit of a. I think he's not all there in the head, but get him back in the club, mate. These young players would look up to him and think, bloody hell, look how big he is, look at how strong he is, look at what he's won.
But you know that Wenger blocks these guys.
And that's the problem. Why?
Apparently, because Tony Adams has criticised him before, and Lee Dixon obviously is a pundit, so he criticises him. He now has blocked them from coming back to them. Apparently, that's why Keown. Remember Keown briefly had a job there. But then Keown also started doing I remember seeing a story about how he briefly did some sort of scouting job or something like that. And then all of a sudden, that stopped. And I found out it was because he criticised Wenger on either Match of the Day or Football Focus or something like that. And I was like, are you being serious? If you start embracing some of these guys, they won't be on TV to do punditry. I mean, can you imagine all them we've just named and keep repeating over and over again? We all want them back in the club. Can you imagine that they didn't criticise Wenger when they were players? Of course they did. I bet I was reading there's some stuff on Twitter in the week about Ray Parlour. Saying, Stepanov's come for Igor Stepanov, the brilliant player that he was. He came and they were winding Keown up, and all game they were like brilliant pass, and Wenger's caught onto it and gave him a 4-year deal based on what all the players were saying. I don't think he was watching them properly, and it was like a bit of a big white, like a wind up sort of thing. Just you can't tell me he's not influenced by players and he doesn't listen to him, because he must do for something like that to happen. And another story about where Ian Wright, who was it? Ian Wright and someone else, they were swinging at each other in the tunnel, fighting, literally punch-ups. And I just was, I'm not gobsmacked, because I Ian Wright's era, the older lot, I could totally imagine them doing that. But, full-on fighting in the changing rooms. And they were apparently 6-1 down, 5-1 down at Man United, and that Stepanov got brought off at half-time. Wenger weren't mental at the half-time, screaming and shouting at everyone. And they were all couldn't believe it. And I think Pat Rice or someone said to Ray Parlour, it was a Liverpool game, wasn't it? I feel like I remember this.
Don't laugh. Don't laugh. He's being serious.
Yeah.
It was just I don't know. I think too much has happened. Too much has happened for me to ever want him to prove, not prove me wrong, because I'd love him to. But I just think he's past that now. I really feel that there's no way back for him for a large percentage of people. I think the damage has been done. I think people now, what might be hurting him the most, I think people now are sort of questioning how good of a manager he is or has always been. And also they're questioning legacy. There's been talk of legacy. You know what I mean? He's going to get a statue. Yeah, he's going to get flipping the East or the West Stand named after him. We know all this.
But it's resentment. It's resentment that's building. Yes, because no one knows what's happening. And the only person you can blame for that is Wenger, because seemingly he runs the show there. And he's the one that could stop this. He's the one that can clarify one way or another, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And let us know.
Would you mind if he signed another 2-year deal?
Well, I'd be devastated. I'll be honest. I'd be absolutely devastated because look, I subscribe to the fact that he can bring in as many players as he wants. Unless he is prepared to change his tactics, what difference is it going to make?
Yeah.
He can bring Jesus Christ himself. If he's still playing the same tactics, we're still gonna be finishing fourth. So it doesn't. I don't know what to say. For me, I'm of the school of thought that I don't believe there's anything that he can do to change, because he's showing how stubborn he is in this situation. So what lets me think that on the pitch he's going to be prepared to be less stubborn and be more versatile in his approach to games? There's nothing about his demeanor that tells me that.
I think
in terms of transfers, what would you do to this squad? Bear in mind that so many players, like you said, seemingly have their contracts finishing next year. What would you do, transfer window wise?
My opinion is every player's got his price.
Okay. Would you sell Sanchez if he doesn't want to stay? That's the big question.
I don't see any benefit of it. What's the point in getting 30 million quid for him? It's going to cost us 60 to replace him.
Yeah.
Just let him fucking go on a free. Let him go on a free. Like you're playing for us for another year, mate, whether you like it or not. We don't need the dough. We don't need the money. Let's keep him, add to what we've got, and then hopefully within that next 12 months, 18 months, we can convince him to stay. Because if we can see, look, me personally, I think we need a world-class striker, like a real world-class striker. I'm not talking, another Giroud or another 15, 20, 30 million pounder. You need to be talking 60s, 70s. Griezmann, Lacazette, Dybala, whatever, I'm not going to say I want him and we don't get him, I'll be disappointed. We need a world-class striker. Yeah. We need a proper holding midfield player. And I mean, a Kante type, like not a Coquelin. Shit. I've always said that. No good for me.
You have actually. You always have.
I have. I've always said Coquelin's no good. He's an headless chicken. He's a great squad player, but that's it. But we need a world-class defensive midfield player. We need another centre-back, a goalkeeper, and a left-back, and probably a winger. So not asking for too much. But I think we could probably get away with a world-class striker, a world-class holding midfield player, and I personally think we need a world-class central defender. Those three. I think we can get away with Czech for another year.
Okay.
I believe he's starting to decline. Mm-hmm. I think we could just about get away with it for another year. And then any of the fringe players who leave, like your Kieran Gibbses, your Monreals, you just buy a replacement. But for me, as a priority, we need those three players. But how many years have we said we're two or three players away from really competing? This is what I'm saying. They got a good friend of mine. We have the same conversations year after year. We're just a couple of players away. We're just this. We're just that. And that is quite apt because in the week, Mr. Wenger came out and he said something with a phrase in it of almost. We almost signed him. We almost did this. Yes, and we are almost nearly there. If you'd have had the balls to go and buy these players, I mean, he could have signed Lacazette or something for like 25 million quid, 30 million quid 2 or 3 seasons ago. You're paying triple that now. Mm-hmm. Because he couldn't be honest. Alonso, we wanted to pay 15 million and he went for 18. Yeah. Like, why? 3 million? There's so many. There's a big personality on here, Mems. I think everyone knows that guy. He did like a Periscope of all these players that he said, oh yeah, we almost signed him. And then the reality was the players that we signed were absolutely shit. What's the point?
Yeah.
You know, we're not that club, but we shouldn't be that club anymore where we try and, like you said earlier, I totally agree with it. We're not on the cheap. We're not doing, you know, just about enough. We need to be going for the top bracket, not, yeah, potentially he's going to be world class in a couple of years. No one's got the time that anymore. We want results, we want victories, and we need it now.
It's literally what you just said was about Suarez, where he said that Suarez agreed to come.
Yeah.
And I remember tweeting it, and I said, why yet again is he telling the story of someone he almost signed?
Yeah,
like
that was it.
And to me, the Suarez one is the one that pisses me off the most, because I believe he would have come.
Yes,
I
definitely.
believe if he had come and he just bidded properly, not none of this 40 million plus one crap. Just bid 50 million and see what happens. If Liverpool are saying no to 50 million, shut up. Never in life is that going to happen. But no, he had to. And to be honest, I don't blame Liverpool for saying, you know what, fuck you.
Yeah, but that was just outrageous, wasn't it? It was a piss take, that bid.
Yeah.
It was a.
I don't blame Liverpool for saying that.
This is what we think. We know it is true, or we think it's true. Here's you over 40 million quid. It was a kick in the bollocks. I totally agree. If we'd have gone in at 50 million, they'd have probably gone, all right, give us 60, you can have him, and we'd have gone, all right, 55, and we'd have had him. It'd have probably won us the league.
Exactly. This is the thing. This is why, as much as I hate Ferguson, that's what he did. He said, you know what, we lost this by goal difference, this league. I am taking Arsenal's best player who will guarantee me goals. And he basically said, he made Wenger a call. He didn't want to insult him, made him a call, swelled him, chatted him up a little bit. Said, you know what, realistically, what do you want for Van Persie? 24 million. You know what? There's your 24 million. I'm having him. No bullshit. Because that's what successful people do. You have to be ruthless in order to be successful. And Wenger can't be ruthless. He can't even tell a player, no, he's not playing. How much more be ruthless enough to be aggressive enough to say, you know what? Kante won a subpar team a league. I'm going to take him because he's going to more or less guarantee me a league. And anyone who doubts that or says, oh, well, it's easy to say now. Motherfucker, just look at the common dominators. Leicester ran away with the league. What are Chelsea doing? Running away with the league. Who is pivotal to that? There's only one man. There is only one man. But no, and that's why I don't want to see him. These promises of you can rebuild the team, you can do this. Can he?
No.
Can he? He's the one that built the team in the first place.
How many teams has he been building though?
Exactly. We're always in transition. We're always a team in transition. I don't want to hear this transition shit anymore. I want to hear what time is our Premier League parade. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear this transition nonsense all the time.
I think he's had enough chances, mate. I really do. Look, I think he's had enough chances. He's had enough time. He's not. He has had the money to spend. He has been given the budget. He has been backed. Everything. My opinion. I think Kroenke is a shit owner.
Yeah.
However, he doesn't mind spending the money because it's all self-generated. We make money. It's not like he's dipping into his bank account to give us 500 million to build a new stadium like those idiots south of the water. It's not like, he does anything. He basically uses us as an asset to invest elsewhere in all these other things. He bought us to use us as an asset for bank loans, so we could move LA Rams to move the Rams to LA.
Yeah, agreed.
Like I think we have got a good board, and I know Gazidis has took some flack, but I think they've done a fantastic job getting the commercial deals through the door. I mean, let's be honest, we don't win a lot. Mm-hmm. We've not got the sexy players in the world. We haven't got a David Beckham or a Messi to flip in. Sell millions of shirts, they have done a good job with some side of things. But you've got to speculate to accumulate. Why don't they say, "Oh, let's really go for it"? And then the sponsorship deals and the money would come in tenfold if we were successful.
Exactly.
We don't seem to. I think they do get it. They're obviously very clever businessmen, all of them, but they don't seem to want to do it. And I don't think it's them. I think it's the manager.
The manager controls everything. He controls everything. So ultimately, even if they say to him, "Look, we've got 500 million we can give to you," if he doesn't spend it, what can they do?
Exactly.
Because for some stupid reason, they don't have a director of football there who doesn't necessarily need to ask for a manager's permission. He could just go ahead technically and buy the player. But because, like many people believe that Welbeck, for example, wasn't a Wenger buy. And the more you think about it, the more you think maybe it's correct, because it almost seemed like Wenger was surprised. I remember that interview they did with him when they were about to close the deal, or there was a lot of speculation on that transfer, that last transfer day, and Wenger was acting surprised, like, "Are we?" And I thought, unless you are a tremendous actor, it didn't look like a player he wanted. Lucas Perez is another one. I'm not 100% sure that's a Wenger buy. I feel like that's one that was forced on him, and that's why he's treating him the way he's treating him.
I'd agree with that, to be honest. I think that's a fair comment. I think there's a few players that sort of fit into that bracket. Like you said, Welbeck was a strange one. I mean, I think he's a great player. He was always, a Fergie go-to guy, big game. Like that Sunji Park, they always used to play in the big games because they worked extremely hard.
Exactly.
They worked extremely hard, and they put a shift in. And those big games are tight. It's probably, not with us, but with all the other big games that they played, they were always tight. It was always a little sneak 2-1 or 1-0. We get fucking raped by others. We've been smashed. The only scum who haven't beat us are Tottenham. Everyone else, they've battered us. Man United have battered us. Chelsea. I mean, Wenger's 1000th game, we lose 5-0 away to Chelsea. I mean, it's just criminal. Liverpool. I was up at Liverpool when we lost 5-1. We were 4-0 down after about 30 minutes. Every time they came forward, like they just scored. It was just. Honestly, we're embarrassed. It was embarrassing. I hated it. But yeah, we just get smashed, and I don't know. I just hope he sees. Why doesn't he become the director of football? Why doesn't Wenger do it and have a new manager come up? Because
I gotta admit, I don't want that. I'll be honest. No. I really don't want that. I want him out of the club. I don't even want him at this point in time, because I do believe he's a draw. And what I mean by that is I do believe that players like the idea of playing for Wenger, and he's obviously, regardless of what you want to say about him, he's clearly a very charming, very intellectual, very articulate man. But the idea of him playing almost a Fergie role in the way Fergie does with Man United, I just don't feel like that will work. Well, he dithers. So he's not like he's like a decisive person. And I feel like you need a decisive person in that role. And I just feel like I don't want any Wenger crap to hang over into a new manager. I just want a new manager to be able to decide properly what does he want. For him to be successful.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. For so many years, I want him to prove me wrong, and I know he won't do it now. But I don't know. We just maybe he does need to go. Maybe he does need to go. Maybe he'll just turn up and said he does, or he will. But I don't know. I think we need a quick break from all this. Like, I was expecting him to announce he was signing in the
so was I
window. And I think they finished now. They all come in like home over the next few days.
I think so.
Right. Okay.
Today was the last of the international games, so
Right.
Like you, I'm not that interested in international football, but I also ironically tuned in to a little bit of the England game, and yeah, tuned quickly out. Let's put it that way. PS4 came on pretty quickly after that.
Yeah, I think I was expecting now, because there isn't going to be a good time now. If he is going to sign and it's done, I don't think there is going to be a good time, because the no new contract boys, and there's the protests that keep happening. That is going to intensify. The longer this goes on, the harder they're going to push, because they, and rightly so, they believe that this is pressure adding to the situation, and it's making him think twice about signing. If he came out now and said, "Yeah, I've signed," I'd be so disappointed. I'd be so upset. But I think I will just accept it, because he's not going to do any other. The only way is if we really, the only way we'll get rid of him is if he doesn't sign, or the board say, "Right, enough is enough. You've got to go." And I don't think they will, to be honest.
Do you think, because I also heard the stories about Ivan, who I've been very critical over the years, is being pushed out as well. And
yeah, because I think he wants him out.
Protests are having an effect then.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the pressure is getting them?
Yes,
because clearly, I think their plan also was to announce this week that Wenger's signing a contract, get over it. But I actually think that now, even though that I still think that's the plan, they're now not sure, and it's causing a divide, ironically, in the boardroom.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, I mean, Gazidis is a very smart man. He knows he's not going to be able to do his job to a full capacity while Wenger's there. That's how it comes across, that he's the all high and mighty, whereas it should be Gazidis calling the shots. They're all employees. The only person who isn't an employee is obviously Kroenke. But like I said, I think the older, like the Hillwood and Chips and all that, all those people, all the other older directors who have been there since they were, 20 years. So they're all 70 odd now, aren't they? So 50s. They all wanting to stay. They all like this comfortable, jolly boys, no pressure. We're in top four. We're making money. We're doing nothing wrong. We're paying this off. We're just about competing. But I think Gazidis is being smart, and I think he wants him gone. I think there might be another one or two, maybe one of the, maybe Josh Kroenke. I think he's a director. Is that his son? Yeah, I think maybe they're not
board member.
There might be a bit of pressure from them too, and there's a bit of them fighting, and basically there's no smoke without fire, is there? There wouldn't be all these rumours, unless
long may it continue. If it's causing problems up there, good.
I think there's no way they can't listen to it. Ox the other week liking that Wenger out video on Arsenal Fan TV. They do watch it. They do know what's going on. They forget about their profession and what they do as a job. They're normal people like all of us. Of course they go on Twitter. Of course they go on the internet. Of course they see the protests. How can you not see the banners that go up in the stadium and the Wenger out A3 signed things? And, that everyone, they know what's going on. He says he doesn't listen to it. He doesn't hear it and blah, blah, blah. You do. Yeah. There's maybe if it was a one-off, once in the blue moon, Wenger out, you hear it, you do hear it, and it will get to him. And he is probably, maybe, if he's not done it already, he might be taking it into consideration, which I hope he does, because
God, I hope so.
Everyone, like I said, we said earlier, not everyone can't be wrong. Not everyone can be wrong. Yes, there's probably lots of people who want him to stay, but for what reason? No one will be able to argue for a valid reason why Wenger should stay anymore. There isn't. There is not one valid reason anymore.
Okay, I mean, so moving on to the game, and speaking of potentially toxic environments, we've got this bloody game against City, which normally I wouldn't be worried about playing a pet team, because it's one of the few records that Wenger doesn't have a horrible record against Pep, weirdly. But just the way we're playing at the moment, this could be a real painful one. What are your thoughts about this game?
I'm not confident in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, I know there's a protest. I am actually going to make an appearance if I can get a ticket. I'm just waiting on confirmation, and I'm going to be at that march. But I'm not confident at all. Prepare as per usual. We'll go there and just try and outscore, or they'll come to us. We'll try and outscore them. We will. If we lose, I think there'll be as far as top four is concerned, if we lose, it's over.
It's over, yeah.
It's over. If we don't win, it's over top four, 100%. Whether we put a run of how many games are left? 10, 12, whatever. If we put 9 wins, I just don't think it'll be enough. I think other teams, they'll, I mean, don't forget, we still got to go away to Tottenham. Can't see us getting nothing there. And I think we've got another tasty game as well. We've got Man United as well at some point.
Right, yeah.
So
that's the game before the last game of the season.
So we've got 3 massive games on current form. I can't see us getting any points from. So we're 9 points behind a 9-point we can't, game. Well, I'm not confident at all. I can't see us get. Look, I want us to win. I really do. I'd be devastated if we don't win. I'll be pissed off at anyone else. To everyone going mental on Arsenal Fan TV after the game, and everyone, going crazy on Twitter because, what can you do? But having said that, I don't think we'll get anything for the game, but it's down to the players to take responsibility if they are being instructed to perform better. I just can't see us getting any. We've got no check. We've got a Spina in goal. How's Sanchez? I mean, yeah, we've got no. How's Sanchez come back? Is he all right? Ozil, I know Ozil played 25, 30 minutes today. Is he going to be?
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he played 25 minutes, I think. So I just read it on Twitter.
Wow. Okay.
Apparently he was injured, but he's played today 25 minutes. He posted something earlier about his comeback or whatever.
Okay.
So I'm not confident. If we lose, it's all over. And after the game, 90 minutes, I think there's going to be
it's going to be toxic.
A shitload of noise. I think everyone will feel like, it's over. We're not going to get top 4 now. It is definitely over. And I think because he's not signed, because he's not announced it, because there's still doubt, because of all the negativity that's going on. I mean, bloody Jeremy Corbyn was being asked on with Paxton about bloody politics. He was being asked about Arsenal. The media are loving it, mate, at the minute. We are a real easy battering at the moment. We're everyone's whipping boys at the moment. It's an easy target because we are in crisis. And I think it'll be a major crisis if we don't win. And like I said, it'll be all over, and I think it'll get toxic atmosphere. I think it'll be the worst it's ever been, which is sort of a reason why I'm going.
With that being said, then, who would your 1 to 11 be?
Right. So check this out. In goal. I think for me, I would go to Bellerin right back, Gibbs left back, and Koscielny and Mustafi as my back 4. Then I would go for Xhaka, Ox in the middle with Ozil playing just behind. My 2 wingers, I'd have Theo. I would have put on the left. I don't know what to do, whether to stick. Maybe stick Sanchez on the left and put Giroud up top. He scored 2. He's, by all accounts, I've heard he's playing well. So maybe it's time to go with a big man up top, play it up to him, see if we can get anything about them, get some You know what I mean? Get some crosses in the box, see if we can score that way. At least we've got a focal point, an attacking point, a focal point for the attacks rather than Sanchez running around all the time. So that'd be my 1 to 11.
I agree with your 1 to 11. The only
Not
change I would make would be Welbeck for Giroud. Even though I feel like Giroud is playing well, I just feel like against top teams he always gets lost. And I'd quite like for a little bit of pace against. I mean, they're not as dodgy as our defenders, but they are dodgy defenders, City defenders. So maybe Welbeck, just because Welbeck is such a pest.
Yeah.
Even if he's not a great finisher, I think most people can accept that he's a pest. I quite like the idea of him and Sanchez, and if Theo can have one of his better games, Theo just constant pestering them. I like the idea of that, so that would be my 1 to 11. What would be your prediction then, just to wrap things up?
I'd love us to win, but I can't see it. I think I'm going to go both teams to score. We're going to probably, hopefully not, but we will take a defeat 2-1.
I'm going to be slightly more optimistic, and I think it'll be 1-1. Oh gosh, who says that? It'll be 1-1.
Actually, I will change. I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to go 1-1.
I just think us at home, City don't have a great record against at the Emirates, which it's amazing, but it's true. So for that reason, I will cautiously go 1-1. I'm a bit nervous saying that, but I think it will be. But yeah, that's that, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. There's been a literally channel high live viewers watching this, so I'm glad you guys have got a chance to hear me and Sam moaning our asses off. Sam, let the people know while there is a high, let them know where they can find you in terms of Twitter.
Yeah, if I'm footballing hero, it's just that I'm not on any other platform. I don't intend to be. not got time. I'm on Twitter, but yeah, footballing hero.
Yeah, and his Twitter handle is in my description, as is mine, which is @ColossalChig. And if you're listening to me for the first time, do hit that subscribe button and spread the word if you already have. And that's it from us, really. Let's just hope for the best. And up the Arsenal, I guess.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.
Cheers.
Peace.